Yep, we live. Let me All right, we live. We looking good. Let me tweet this out to get everybody going. Give me a second. Yo, what's up? What's up? The show's about to start. Let me do something real quick. I need to pop this chat out. What's up, people? Give me a second. All right, we'll see what's going on right now.
Hey everyone, I'm Lou Studdard, producer.
Oh man, this thing is lagging for me.
Toys for Bob, and I'm here to talk to you about Crash Bandicoot 4. I'm Lou Studdard, producer at Toys for Bob, and I'm here to talk to you about Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. Crash 4 is a direct sequel to Crash Bandicoot Warped. The devious villains, Neo-Cortex and Dr. Entropy, have finally escaped their interdimensional prison, leaving an evil scientist-sized hole in the universe. Now they've got their eyes set on not only simply conquering this dimension, but all dimensions. And it's up to Crash and Coco to save the day. Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time is the first totally new game in the Crash Bandicoot series in over a decade. So for us at Toys for Bob, we felt that it was important to reintroduce longtime fans as well as new players to this amazing franchise.
Damn. Yeah, I really need to get a new rig. This shit. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't know what's up is going on here. Oh man, I hope Spectrum Internet's not on their BS right now. Yo, this is crazy. Always. And this is why I won't be down with game streaming. Not gonna happen. Am I still live? I should be live. Oh, I'm not live no more. Oh, yeah, I should be live. I'm still live. Chat, am I still live? Or did something happen to my network?
Allows you to slow down the world around you. Or Lonnie Lowly, who allows you to phase shift elements in and out of existence. Bending the rules of reality and altering your environment with these new masks is a must.
All right.
We also can't wait to talk to you about the fourth mask, Akano, but that's going to have to wait for another day. What we can tell you today, though, is that Crash isn't the only character you get to take control of during this adventure. For starters, you can play the entire game as Coco. Any level that you can play as
skip ahead because I think I'm way behind
Dingo Dial.
Everybody,
in fact, he hung up his old flamethrower rocket launcher combo. Really excited to show you today. The Crash Bandicoot series has always been about finding
what's
new
up,
and
Chad?
exciting
Sorry
ways
for
to play through the game. In the past, it's been about taking on time trials or discovering
but
all
anyway,
the
what's
hidden
up,
secrets.
anyone? If you could
Well, for Crash
hit
4,
the like button
we wanted to bring
and
something
retweet
brand
this out,
new
truly
to the table.
appreciate it.
So
I
we
know
teamed up with our
every
friends at Beanox
channel
to create a
is
brand new style of play
going
for
live
Crash
with this,
4
but it
that
is
we
what
call
it is. We're all
inverted
competing
mode.
with everybody, right?
It's our
But it is what it is.
Bumpa-berry
You know, for those of you who
take
choose
on
to
a
rock out with
mirror
me,
mode.
also I truly
Not only
appreciate
are
it. Thank you very
perspectives
much.
shifted, but now
What up,
each of the
D-Truth,
dimensions
Phantom
are rendered in a
Station,
new
Luke's
and
Blade,
unique art style
Raja,
that really
what's up?
changes the look and feel of the experience.
Johannes,
One
what's
dimension
up?
could be
What's
asking you
good?
to traverse through a neon
Lee,
wasteland,
what's
while
up?
another tasks players with
So what's
spinning
this, Crash
paint all over the
Bandicoot?
environment to see their path forward.
Is this a new
We've
one?
even got one
I
that
know
feels
I've been
like an
dealing with
old-timey movie
technical
the overcranked
issues.
camera speed, increasing the actual speed of gameplay as
Or
well.
is this a remaster?
Once unlocked, players can replay all the game's levels with a totally new and dynamic look and feel. It's an incredibly fun feature that is going to give every player, especially the completionists out there, a reason to revisit each level again to see what new and exciting
Crash
experiences in store for them. So that's some of the new stuff that we have in store for you in Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time.
All right. I mean, it's most
Experience
likely a
the space and
multi-plat, right?
time-bending madness on October 2nd.
So for those who are like Crash Bandicoot, you know, and of course you see me rocking that
Today's
pinstripe.
State of Play is loaded with third-party updates for PS4 and PSVR, and some new PS5 gameplay too.
New PS5 gameplay. All
We
right.
open the show with an all-new look at Crash 4. It's About Time, coming to PlayStation 4 on October 2nd. Now let's keep the party going with the latest
I'm sure it's
from
on
IO
Xbox.
Interactive.
As well as Activision. Hitman. Now, I will say this. I know people are confused with Sony still supporting PS4 and cross-gen. There's a difference, right? There's still many titles on the PlayStation 4 Platinum that still were already in production. And soon, and games that will still be in production. And it's specifically for the PS4, but backwards compatible with the PS5. That's not cross-gen gaming. What a lot of gamers are talking about. Oh, this is Hitman VR. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. I could rock with this. Yo, I could rock with this. Oh, hell yeah. I'm telling you, I love VR, man. Before, I wasn't a big advocate for it. When PlayStation introduced it, I was like, whatever. Play the entire trilogy in VR. I hope Sony goes more into detail with how PSVI can boost, if it can at all. But I hope they push out more message on what PS5 can do for VR that we have right now. Because I know like the PS4 Pro gives it a better performance boost, so games look better, run a little bit better. I'm hoping PS5 does that, but on a much bigger scale. I think more people will give VR a chance if you got better performance, better graphics, you know, better frame rates, much faster frame rates. You know. Yo, what's up, Stowe? Stowe, show up. What's good? And after the state of play, stick around, because I want to talk about some topics. I want to talk about the nonsense behind PlayStation 4 controllers not working on PS5, and the ridiculous tears on why so many gamers are crying about Spider-Man not being on. Oh, this is Braid. I know that character. Is this a new Braid? I don't know. I remember Braid was a big hit last gen. The new Guilty Gear's cosplay, PS4 and PS5 confirmed. Okay. Braid Anniversary Edition. I remember. Oh, so they remastered Braid. Oh, wow. I remember when Braid first came out. It was a big deal.
We are happy to announce Braid Anniversary Edition. It's the classic puzzle adventure where you manipulate time, hand repainted for modern, high resolutions.
Many areas have been re-envisioned to make them more unique, and it's even more like a living painting with brushstrokes animating the world. There are more than 9 pixels for each pixel in the original game. There are new animations for smoother motion.
This game first came out on Xbox Live before it went out to PlayStation.
Many hours of developer commentary and interviews on subjects like puzzle design, programming, and visual art.
We plan to make it the most detailed commentary in any game ever. So if you want to learn how video games are made, Braid Anniversary Edition will be a really good resource.
We hope you'll enjoy the game when it comes out early next year.
The one thing I like about the state of play is they go directly from game to game to game.
Let's take a quick tour in this new footage captured from PS5.
Oh, there's PS5.
Hi everyone, this is Matt Nava from Giant Squid. I'm excited to share more with you today about our upcoming game, The Pathless.
It's an indie game for PS5. But I'm pretty sure
The Pathless is an open-world mythic adventure game set in a vast forest. You play as the Hunter.
PS4 also, so I would say this is a cross-gen game.
The Hunter is a master of archery. She can shoot talismans to fill her dash meter, which allows her to bound across the landscape. Fluid, dynamic movement is at the core of the Pathless. So the game's unique take on archery is all about timing, not aiming down sights. This design was critical to making it possible to shoot even while moving fast and performing acrobatic maneuvers. You instantly feel as skilled as the hunter herself.
I mean, artistically it's a pretty game, right? But what do you do with that?
With help from the eagle, you can even fly. The bond between the hunter and the eagle is central in the Pathless. You can gain altitude while you glide by flapping.
I mean, artistically, it's a pretty looking game, right?
Make sure you pet the eagle
a pretty looking indie
to keep it clean and in good flying condition.
But what do you do? Like, what's the so what
You'll
behind the
find
game?
secrets all over the island, if you know where to look.
It's very empty.
Collecting crystals will let you upgrade the eagle's ability to flap. You'll also discover larger puzzles to solve in ancient structures.
Alright. Have y'all noticed, like, it's not really talking about the big so what behind the game? Like, there's a lot of exploration, but like, is the world in danger? Like, who are you fighting? Or
Pathless is all about finding your own way forward. So unlike most open world games, there's no map. Instead, the hunter can use her mask to peer into the spirit world and discover distant landmarks. It even shows you where you've been. Getting to higher vantage points will let you see further with spirit vision. Giant cursed spirits, the source of the darkness, will pose a constant threat to you on your quest. They will try to separate you from the eagle. Stay still in the light to avoid detection.
That better, Garuda? Sorry about that. I forgot to mirror the screen.
You won't be able to take on the cursed spirits until you've returned light to the obelisks. Obelisks are restored, the cursed spirits will be vulnerable. Chase them down through the forest to corner them in a dramatic final battle.
Okay.
And Eagle will have to defeat the cursed spirits to bring light back to the world. I hope you've enjoyed this overview of the Pathless. We've only scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore and discover. The Pathless is coming out later this year. Thanks for watching.
It's a, it's a nice looking indie. We're a big head for indie fans and stuff.
Next up, let's see what's in store for Spelunky 2.
Spelunky.
Hi, my name is Derek Yu, and I'm the creator of Spelunky. For Spelunky 2, I wanted to make sure we made something that got old fans excited.
Now you see, a lot of these games
brought in new players.
Right?
It was important.
This is where services like Game Pass and PS Now would shine
in the first place,
right? And I think this is where
so many people became fans of the game through their friends and family, and even strangers on the internet. That's one reason why we're adding
because a lot of these games will get overshadowed
people
by the big
play the game together.
In the big marketing campaigns.
And I also wanted to include that feeling of community in Spelunky
and day one on PS Now,
day
one on Game Pass, these type of games,
even though it's difficult,
will benefit the developers and
Spelunky 2, when you do runs and discover new characters, you'll also be building an in-game community and family.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, Netflix shows.
A lot of
Netflix shows
much more rich and dynamic than Spelunky 1.
Would not survive.
It's going to feel a lot more full. Players will be able to explore and interact with it in lots of new ways.
Like they do as a Netflix.
For example, you'll be able to ride turkeys,
Premiere or something,
and find hidden passageways.
So I definitely see these
and you'll have to choose between branching paths as you make your way deeper into the caves.
This segment of the industry.
As a result, the stories players create will have much more texture to them. Even after many, many hours of playing, I still have interesting runs that don't even go past the first area. In Spelunky 1, runs often centered around the shops and how you chose to interact with them. So in Spelunky 2, we've expanded the shopping experience and made them more nuanced and exciting. And also added new characters that can help you or hinder you. Given how amazing the Spelunky community is, it's hard to say how long it will take to find the deepest secrets. But I think the great thing about Spelunky is that the deepest secrets are the ones that even I don't know about. And there are lots of new things to play with that I hope players can use to push past the boundaries of what we, as the developers, know about the game. I have two types of favorite stories from Spelunky fans. First are when people are genuinely surprised by something that happened in the game. And second, the ones where people shared a fun experience with friends and family in multiplayer. These are the stories I wanted to expand upon in Spelunky 2. They're really what guided my design choices. After releasing Spelunky, I knew there was a lot more that could be done with the concept and the world. Knowing that possibility was out there is what's been exciting for me and the rest of the team.
Man, they're really dragging this game.
In a lot of ways, when Spelunky 2 comes out, I want players to experience what we experienced making it. That feeling that there's something special there waiting for you to discover it. A big thanks to the fans who've waited patiently for us to finish Spelunky 2. It's been a long journey, but I think it's gonna be worth it. Thanks.
We've got a bunch of new PS4 updates to share with you, starting with a closer look at Genshin Impact.
Hey, there's something strange over there. Come on, let's take a look.
Sup, who's next?
I summon thee!
I deal in death. If you cannot bring yourself to kill, speak my name.
What is this disturbance to which I awaken?
Huh?
Is this?
Think you can get away?
This isn't the game that got flagged for being a Zelda clone, is it?
Wake up!
Is this the game? Autumn 2020? What's up with these games? I'm gonna definitely give my thought about the state of play. Because I'm gonna say up front, it looks good. Well, the Genshin Impact does look good.
I claim your mind for the Void Armada. Gods have squealed for my mercy.
But
Who are you to stand in the way of my vengeance?
I'm gonna be honest. I just feel Sony. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I think Sony took an opportunity and they floundered it. And I'm gonna talk about it after the state of play. It's gonna be live on this podcast, so stick with me. Oh, that's part of the China Hero project also. a lot of these games would benefit also being day one on PS Now. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like this, I can see. It's like it would be like a mutual benefit for both. Games like this will make the service look better. The more people get to play these games. You know what I'm saying? The developer will be more renowned. You know, because these are all new projects. And I think this is also from the 10 Hero project. It's mutually beneficial.
It's time to talk Bugsnax. Let's check out some gameplay footage captured from PS5.
My invitation is open. Come join me on the island of Bugsnax.
Wow, that's your new lead? Another monster hunt? Elizabeth Megafig is a 2-bit con artist. Don't tell me you actually believe this half-baked nonsense. I swear, if you chase this Bugsnax story, you're out of a job!
You're the journalist! Lisbeth said you'd be coming. There's a Bugsnax right over there. Do me a favor and take my snack trap.
Stranger, I could use your help. This bunger goes wild for ketchup. Use it to lead the bunger over yonder.
I want you to use that journalistic instinct to find
Yeah,
out what
they
my
did say no
favorite
PS5 announcement,
Bugsnax is. And feed it to me.
Which, you know,
How's my little sprout doing?
I don't know.
He misses Papa.
It's timing, you know what I'm saying?
Of course he does.
Well, I have a few prototype traps that I could put to use.
You're pretty good at stuff, and nobody hates you yet. You can catch Bugsnax and bring everybody back to Snacksburg.
Well, say you do find these Bugsnax and make it back alive. You just might keep your job. Now get going and try not to fall off a cliff.
Vader Immortal. Isn't that on PC?
There's a lot more in store. Let's start with an update on an eagerly awaited PlayStation VR game.
This is on PC, right?
Force is strong with you.
You must stop Vader.
I don't understand why you never mentioned that you had the Force.
I think this is also on PC, but it's cool that's coming to PlayStation. It's one of the reasons why I'm getting a gaming PC, because of PC VR.
Whatever you do, stay in the light.
Control. I didn't get to play Control yet. I'm not a big fan of Remedy. A lot of people told me Control has probably been their better game for a while. Expansion. Oh man, this is...
Now let's take a look at 2 new games headed to PS5.
Alright.
We are the forest shadows.
What's this?
Ghosts. Running silently between the straight, cold lines of a corrupt state.
Alright.
Quieten down, don't shed a tear.
They count, ration, manipulate.
Yeah, this looks pretty good.
They've taken everything from those they claim to protect. Authority and steel will not stop us. We aren't an invading army. We are wraiths. We bypass defenses and strike at the heart.
The ghost of the forest, the wraith. Don't think twice, he'll be by your side. The star comes heavy, it's the archer's eye.
We take back what was stolen.
When the hoods both fly.
And the people call us heroes.
This sounds like a Scottish dialect, right?
To others, we are rivals.
The hell? Hood, Outlaws and Legends. Oh, is this like a Robin Hood type game?
We are all outlaws. But some of us will become legends.
Okay. In 2021?
From the dead all night.
So it's like a Robin Hood type game. Alright, this is weird. Like the way the show is going back and forth. No, it's like no frills version of Pokemon or some shit. Carbon copy? What is this? Another China Hero project? Copying off of Pokemon? Temtem.
Before we wrap up, let's take a tour of Godfall. We've got new PS5 gameplay for this melee-focused action epic launching this holiday.
The main reason I'm interested in Godfall is because of melee. If it would have been a looter shooter, I would have not been interested.
Hello, my name is Keith Lee, and I am the game director for Godfall. On behalf of
Gotta
Time to
admit,
Play Games,
they
we are very excited to share
they did a better
gameplay with
job
you
of
today
presenting
and to
Godfall
offer you a
graphically.
glimpse into the mystical world of Godfall.
It
Today,
graphically
you'll
looks
be
better than
seeing
Halo at this
extensive gameplay captured on a PlayStation 5 development kit. Please keep in mind that the game is still a work in progress, and some things may change from the final product as we continue to learn and harness the power of Sony's next-generation console. Please enjoy. So let's jump right into what Godfall is. Godfall is a looter slasher that features intense action, satisfying moment-to-moment combat, and robust loot progression systems. You can enjoy the game at your own pace, playing alone, or through online co-op with up to 2 additional teammates. Godfall is set in a brand new high fantasy universe filled with heroic knights, arcane magic, and forbidden realms. The world is split up into the elemental realms of earth, water, air, and fire. Godfall is a complete package. All loot and gear in the game are acquired or unlocked through gameplay. There are no microtransactions, no waiting for content. It's all in the game on day one. As you adventure, you'll get to tear through enemies to challenge a mad god who awaits you at the top.
I mean, I like the way
You
they
play
sound
a
saying
Valorian knight, a godlike warrior able
how
to
all
equip
content is day
valor
one, but I would
plates,
imagine
legendary armor
they will have
sets
to
that
add
transform
new
you
content
into
to
an
keep the game
unstoppable
going.
master of melee combat. Throughout your journey, you'll find ancient valor plates lost in time, each with their own characteristics and long history. Now let's talk about gameplay in Godfall. First, our team wanted to do something different. We wanted to combine action RPG loot progression with third-person melee combat to create what we think is a looter slasher. Our game is therefore one part gear-driven and one part player skill-driven. In other words, not only do we want you to find exquisite weapons with powerful loot traits, but we also want you to have that feeling of accomplishment for mastering the wide set of combat mechanics available to you in Godfall. From a combat philosophy perspective, the melee combat in Godfall is intended to be fluid, dynamic, and interactive, embracing offense over defense. More often than not, you'll be
See, a
facing
key for
multiple
this
enemies
game,
at the same time.
especially
As a
when it comes to
result,
slashers,
you should always be moving and closing the gap on enemies.
guard, counter.
Also, you dominate the combat space, not the enemies, and the game rewards you for being aggressive.
That's a huge, intricate part.
Now that you're familiar with the combat philosophy, let's dig
How
into
well
the
is the
weapons
guard
themselves.
counter combat.
In Godfall, there are 5 weapon classes. The longsword,
You know, that's why I like Bayonetta. It's so loved by
dual blades,
by action fans. Because the block
polearm
mechanics is amazing. Same thing with Ninja Gaiden.
The two-handed warhammer,
you know,
and the two-handed greatsword. Each weapon class has their own unique movesets and playstyles, ranging from fast combos to more strategic, deliberate play.
I
As
like
you
that.
defeat enemies in your adventures, you will acquire numerous weapons. For each weapon category, each weapon with their own primary and secondary traits. At a later date, we will delve into the weapon classes and how to modify them in greater detail. For now, we'll go over the dual blades and the longsword weapon classes. The dual blades are the fastest weapon class in Godfall, embodying speed, fluidity, and mobility. The dual blades are exceptional against soft, unarmored targets or single targets. You can perform a combo by executing 4 consecutive light attacks. The dual blades heavy attack is a spinning blade cyclone. The blade cyclone can also be used as a finisher at the end of your light attack combo. So what are the signature moves for the dual blades? As you build up charge, you can also activate Inner Focus, which is unique to the dual blades, which inflicts massive damage in a short period of time. There's also Mortal Coil, where you can throw your blade into an enemy, pulling the enemy towards you like pulling a cable. Now let's switch to the longsword weapon class. Longswords are balanced weapons, embodying crisp damage and simple cooldowns without needing a lot of elaborate combo setups. Similar to dual blades, longswords have their own 4-hit light attack combo. Then there's the heavy attack finisher, which can be used at the end of your light attack combo. There are 3 signature moves for the longsword class. There's Spectral Flurry, which cannot be interrupted and deals high damage to multiple nearby targets. Then there's Spiral Technique, which eviscerates all enemies in a straight fixed path. Notice there's a white flash after a longsword swing called a timing attack. If you press the shield button exactly at the same time, you'll perform a devastating shield uppercut with your longsword. The shield is a core part of Godfall. It's available to you throughout the entire game. You can always block incoming attacks with your shield. If you press the shield button at the right time, you can also parry an attack. You can perform a light attack after a last-second shield block to counterattack with a powerful shield strike. The shield is great not just for defense, but also offense. You can aim and throw your shield, which will hit multiple nearby targets. If you tap the shield button just as you catch your shield, you can perform a powerful wave attack. You can double tap the shield button to petrify enemies. And of course, you can perform an R3 ground finisher on enemies that were knocked down to the ground.
I'm liking what I'm seeing with this in-depth gameplay. I can really rock with this right now. But again, like I said, if it was a shooter, I wouldn't have been interested. I wouldn't have been interested if it was another shooter. Other people could, but I would have been like, What's gonna make the break this game is the combat and the looting, but definitely the combat. If the combat mechanics are really good.
We hope you enjoyed our first walkthrough video of Godfall running on the PlayStation 5. We also want to thank all the fans for their endless support since our initial reveal back in December. We have a few more surprises coming down the road, such as details on loot and progression, and are eager to share more with you on our way to launch this holiday season. We hope that you will join our Godfall community on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you.
Like, okay. I like the combat, so that's what got me into the combat. To be honest, this game might be time exclusive.
This peek into the future of PlayStation. See you next time.
It might eventually come to Xbox. I don't see this game not coming to Xbox. Maybe. I don't. It's on PC, so PlayStation. It's not like it's 100% built on PS5 hardware. And I think that's it, right? And that's a wrap. All right, let me. Yeah. Okay, that's a wrap. Let me do my thing real quick. Let me get back here. We got the State of Play 2. All right. Get this out the way. All right. So that's pretty much it. All right. So Alright. Where do I begin? Hold on. Let me tweet something out. Oh boy. Okay. Alright. Alright. Tweeting an update now of me going live right now. And like I said in the tweet, I'm gonna give my thoughts about the state of play. And I'm also gonna talk about Spider-Man Avengers exclusivity real quick, and then also the nonsense behind the outrage of PlayStation 4 games or PlayStation 4 controller not working with PS5 games. And then I'm also going to talk about Microsoft dropping the annual subscription to Gold, but no other changes to Xbox Live, which I kind of said that a while back, right? So more people showed up. There's a digital, that ungrateful laugh. Yeah, Trey K was good. Thank you. More people are showing up. I really appreciate it. If you could hit the like button, I would truly appreciate it. Along with tweeting the latest tweet if you go on Twitter. With the latest update. And then I'm gonna just rock out. So let's get right to it. A couple of weeks ago, shortly after, I made a video talking about my direct opinion of the Xbox Showcase, and how I saw it just from a perspective of a gamer getting a PC and just on the gaming content, and not on the merit of competition or Xbox trying to win back mindshare. In that same video, I mentioned what Sony should do to gain the momentum, all right? Because like it or not, regardless of what these companies say, regardless if Microsoft says we're not selling consoles, we have our own strategy, we're not in a competition with Sony, regardless of how Sony feels, regardless of how dominant the PlayStation brand is, the consumer still perceives these two products as competing products. There are still millions and millions of consumers on the fence line between buying the Xbox Series X at launch or PlayStation 5 at launch, right? And many of them are going to buy both, but right now they're on the fence line of deciding which to get first. And getting something first is important, right? Because it's not just the exclusives, but it's also the third party, the growth of third party sales, and building and rebuilding the community on PlayStation 5 and getting all these people on there. So I mentioned that Microsoft fumbled the ball. You know, if this was a game of American football, they fumbled it, you know, and Sony recovered, right? Now that Sony has the ball, what step do they take to really capture the moment, to really capture the opportunity? Because right now, Microsoft or Xbox Series X in particular, we'll use Series X in particular, is at a down point. Probably at its lowest point this whole entire time since next gen's been announced or fully announced, or since Xbox Series X been unveiled since November. Right? This is the lowest point in the brand for Xbox Series X. And Sony missed that right now. I mean, I'm going to talk more about the merit of the state of play, but I just want to paint the picture that Sony had the opportunity to take Xbox Series X lowest point and really bring it home, right? That's all they needed, you know. Sometimes the timing of the information is more important than just the information itself, right? This would have been a good time for Sony to really ride the wave of just a low point, finish off the games that they need to show for PlayStation 5, whatever they have planned for launch, whatever they have planned over the next year or two, right? They should have came out and put the whole backwards compatibility capabilities to rest, you know, make an official statement, you know, in the same event. Talk about the games that gets the enhancements, talk about how the games are enhanced, and then finally reveal the price, right? Of the disc base and the all digital version. And then that's it. That's it. It's a wrap. That presentation, people would have made the decision to buy PlayStation 5. It wouldn't be about, well, I'm going to wait to see what else Microsoft has. Because to be honest, there's a lot of gamers that are tired of waiting for Microsoft. They're at the point where they're just done. They're just tired. You understand what I'm saying? But Sony gave them a way out. They gave gamers who are tired of waiting reasons to wait. Jason Elliott, PR shirt is fire. Hell yeah, that Yankee blue pinstripe jersey. I'm waiting for my new one. The 2020 training camp one. That one's hot too. But Sony gave Microsoft a way out. They gave them a lifeline. It is what it is. Sony gave Microsoft a lifeline. A lot of people are tired of waiting, right? Sony just had to finish the job. Sony just had to be like, hey, you don't need to wait. Here are more games. Here's the official stance on backwards compatibility. Here's the price. Done. And that's it. A lot of gamers would have just said, you know, that's it. The decision's done. We're moving forward, right? And then it's not like it will stop there, because obviously year by year, the companies will still compete. They will still try to always win the consumers' dollars. But I think this was a misstep, showing this. This kind of, I think more people, more gamers right now are interested in the future of PlayStation 5 than just simply watching State of Plays and this product. State of Play has its place, all right? Some of the content on this State of Play look good. The Genshin game looked good. I'm glad they went into a little deep dive with Godfall. I like Hitman VR. I'm glad Darth Vader Immortal game is coming to VR. So there was good content. I'm not gonna lie. And there's stuff that interested me. All right. There's no doubt about that. But let's be honest. We are all, everybody here, especially in the chat, we're all interested in PlayStation 5. That's the main focus, you know, because PlayStation 4 had its due. 7 years, amazing titles. It's good that there's still new content coming out on PlayStation 4, but us gamers who set our clocks, set the date, set the time to watch these events, most of us are looking forward and want to see the big picture. Most of us are pushing forward. We want to see what's going on with the PlayStation 5. That's our main focus right now. You know what I mean? But overall state of play was all right. It's definitely wasn't something that you can say is part of the strategy, or clearly shouldn't be considered part of the strategy in terms of pushing the PlayStation 5. Even though they did show some PlayStation 5 stuff, it just wasn't something that screamed, I gotta get a PlayStation 5. And this one, we're talking about the people on the fence. You know, people who are right now could be steered in either direction. You know, most of us that trust Sony, that enjoyed the PlayStation brand for decades, we know what PlayStation is about. So of course, we have the faith and confidence in the brand to continue to deliver the quality titles. We already see Sony already doing more for the PlayStation gamers compared to what Xbox is doing, you know, with the exclusives, Avengers and stuff, and rumors of Sony even going after more exclusive content, titles, games, things like that. So we know overall what the brand is about for the fan of the brand and stuff. But it is what it is, I guess. State of play, nothing to talk about. It was all right. Some content's cool. Some stuff, especially for the indie fans. I know last year there was this fake outrage concern of, Sony no longer supporting indies because they made a statement saying that, you know, PlayStation 5 will be for the hardcore. So of course, you know, the cancel culture or the shock culture, they took that and ran with it as Sony's not doing indies no more. They abandoned the indie developers. They're no longer for the players. And here you are. All these indie games. So all those people that did that last year or whatever, y'all looking mighty stupid right now. Looking mad dumb right now. Because there's a lot of indie content that Sony's supporting. So y'all all look dumb. For also all of you who made videos doing that dumb stuff, jumping the gun, well, there you go. You look stupid. And stuff. So yeah, whatever. Let me get into catch up to some stuff. So Spider-Man Avengers. I had a 60 frames no lag podcast. We talked about that Optimus Code, but there's still a lot of people that don't understand what happened with Spider-Man, PlayStation, Marvel, and Insomniac. It blows my mind. This is something that's already 4 years old, and people don't get it. Listen, let's get this out the way, right? Hold up. Let me make sure. All right, there you go. Let's make this clear, so that way there's no confusion. Because I don't want people to be confused about anything. All right. Let's get this. Let's just be honest. Can we just be honest about something? All right. Let's just be honest about one thing. All right. There's a lot of Xbox guys or whatever, PlayStation haters, whatever, that keep saying Sony doesn't own the rights to a Spider-Man video game, so this shouldn't be happening. Listen, Sony currently has the rights provided by Marvel for exclusive video games for Spider-Man. The deal's been done between Sony, Marvel, and Insomniac. It's a deal. It's already been done. All right? Okay? Does Sony own the Spider-Man video game rights in the same manner as they own the movie rights? No. Sony owns those movie rights. Okay? They own them. It's theirs. There's nothing Marvel can do about it. Full control of Spider-Man movie and television rights 100% belongs to Sony. Now, I saw on Twitter someone saying that Sony has a say in other things relating to Spider-Man. So, like, Marvel doesn't... I'm not sure about that. I can't really comment on that. I'm not sure if it's accurate. If Sony has a say in everything dealing with Spider-Man. I'm not sure about that. But the one thing that I am sure about is Sony completely owns Spider-Man, right? But as far as the video games, they have the rights to Spider-Man provided by Marvel. Now, Marvel still owns locked in stock Spider-Man video game IP. It's theirs. It's not being taken away. But with the authority that they own, they gave the rights through some type of deal to Sony. How long that deal is, what are the dynamics or the fine print behind that deal, I don't really know, and I don't think anybody really knows or how this came about. But whatever that deal is, Sony now manages the rights. Marvel said themselves, the director of Marvel Games said himself, the future of Spider-Man is in the hands of Sony. As far as video games, is in the hands of Sony and Insomniac. They own that. So they decided, and obviously Sony bought Insomniac, so in reality, the rights is to Sony. Okay? So as of that deal, anything dealing with Spider-Man video games, Sony has a say. For how long? Again, we don't know. So nobody should be outraged that Spider-Man's not on Xbox or PC. The characters is not theirs. Alright? Square Enix cannot promise a character that they have no control of. That character is in control of Sony, right? So Sony just made a deal directly with Square Enix on how to add a video game IP character that they now have the rights to into their version of their games. That is not anti-consumer because that character was never promised on any other platform. That platform has no say, no control. Square Enix has no say, no control. Okay? So if you play on Xbox, you're not going to get Spider-Man content on any Marvel games. That's just not going to happen. Sony will most likely, depending on what other Marvel games get made by different publishers, that most likely will be multi-plat. Sony at any point could go to them and be like, hey, is there a way we can throw in Spider-Man and provide Spider-Man content in your game, right? And most likely Sony's footing the bill. They're the ones paying the money. So those third-party developers have no problem doing it, right? Third-party publishers have no problem adding Spider-Man if it makes sense, right? So I guess Sony's putting the money for it or provide some type of lucrative deal that's beneficial to them. They'll do it. That has nothing to do with Xbox and PC. It's just, it has nothing to do with those platforms. That's the deal that Sony does to cater to their audience that plays on PlayStation. It is what it is. So this fake outrage, you know, how about less outrage and put your money towards the brand that actually caters to how you feel it should be catered to. Do that. That's it. You know, if your brand is not up to snuff, you don't have to stay on that brand. You can buy something else. It's a consumer industry. You're not going to get rewarded for loyalty. There's no rewards for loyalty in the consumer industry. You know, you put your money on what you prefer. That's it. You know, it's simple as that. Next thing I want to touch on, again, you know, don't forget to hit the like button. We'll truly appreciate it. Next thing I want to touch on is this stupid, this is when the fanboys hit rock bottom. Y'all hit rock bottom with this one. It's the stupid, dumb outrage on PS4 controllers not working with PlayStation 5 games. Like, that's insane. Like, what the hell? Yo, shout out. Yo, what's up, Craig? If you want to hop on, you can. You know, the Discord's open. I never seen such nonsense in my life about a controller not being useful for next generation gaming, especially when we seen what the DualSense is about and how it's an actual different from the PS4 controller. It actually evolved, has newer capabilities, better capabilities, has new stuff. You know, it's just an all-around improved controller doing things that the PlayStation 4 controller can't do. Now, I get the PlayStation 4 controller working with PS4 games as backwards compatible, sure, right? But this, we're talking about next gen here. We're talking about next generation of gaming, right? And most of us are ready to pay $500 or more on buying these consoles, right? This is one of the reasons why I didn't care about mid-gen refresh, right? The introduction of the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X, I didn't care for that because those consoles also launched at $400 and $500. And what did you get? You didn't get barely anything other than resolution and maybe a little bit better graphics, right? You didn't get no new technologies, hardly anything, right? I think maybe on the One X you got Dolby Atmos, right? As a new technology. But aside from that, right? And PlayStation even less Because yeah, the Pro does HDR, but they added HDR for free on the PlayStation Slim and Vanilla. Because it does HDR, it does its own version HDR, but you know, in a lot of games it looks pretty good, right? So you see what I'm saying? So for the $400, $500 that you pay for mid-gen refresh, you didn't get a lot of stuff. But with a PlayStation 5, you're getting all new technologies, Tempest audio, right? SSD packed in, an architecture to support the SSD, a brand new controller with so much more features and stuff like that. Look how much stuff you're getting for almost the same price or just a little bit more compared to the mid-gen refresh. That's why I didn't really care about the mid-gen refresh. You understand? In my opinion, I thought the asking price compared to what you would normally get with a next generation console was a stark difference when you think about it. I mean, think about it. Xbox One X launched at $500. Now compare that to, let's say, if the Series X is $500 or the PS5 is $500. How much more are you getting with actual next gen hardware at a $500 price point as compared to these mid-gen refreshes, you know? And if the PS5 all digital is $400, compare day one PS5 all digital for $400 with the PlayStation 4 Pro at $400. You see the stark difference in what you get with the amount of money. So that's why I didn't go with the mid-gen refresh. But as far as the next generation console, I want next gen. When I buy a PS5, I don't understand why people are so concerned. It's not even their concern. They're just bull. They're just BSing. They're full of crap. All right? Because I can't see being a day one adopter and you buy this day one product, right? Brand new next generation console. You open it. It comes with the controller packed in. You plug it. You set it up. Updates. Whatever you have to do. And then what you do is, oh, I think somebody joined in. Oh, my man, Craig joined in. Hey, what's up, Craig?
Yo.
What's up? Let me finish off my statement, then I'll get to you real quick. You know, so I can't see you buy this crisp new next generation console. It's all packed in, has a new next generation controller. The first thing you're going to do is going to play some of these next-gen games that you purchase, right? You're going to see how the controller reacts to it and stuff like that. And you'll probably will play some backwards compatibility and see how the next-generation controller makes the experience better. You know, you might have tighter controls, better grips, better thumbsticks, you know, better dead zones. You know, everything might just be improved. The triggers might be improved, right? So the new controller might make the older games a better experience because you have a better controller. I don't see anybody thinking, well, still want to go back to my PS4 controller. Man, get out of here with that nonsense. Get out of here, you know? And what's funny, a lot of the dudes, some of the dudes crying about this, they don't even like PlayStation 4 games. So why would you be playing? You don't play your multiplats on PlayStation. You call all PlayStation games walking simulators. So what are you doing with your PlayStation 4 controller anyway? What are you doing? You ain't doing anything. So stop it. Shut up. Stop with the nonsense. They don't play the third-party multiplats because you got to play on the most powerful console. PlayStation games are all the same. Third-person walking sims. So then what are you doing? What PS4 games do you even care about? What? Yeah, stop it. It's just nonsense. You understand what I'm saying? That fake outrage is the dumbest, most embarrassing thing that that's going on with that whole scenario. And then the final thing I want to bring up is I warned y'all people about what Microsoft's doing, trying to make Game Pass more attractive. So Tom Warren said that, officially said that Microsoft has no plans in changing Xbox Live Gold the way it is. So it is still a paid to play service. You still have to pay for online multiplayer. But they did change it because they removed that annual $60 gold subscription. There is no more gold subscription. I wish I had my whiteboard here because this is a whiteboard moment. This is a whiteboard moment like a mug. I need a whiteboard. I need to get a whiteboard because this right here. This is the Puertorock y'all love. This is a whiteboard. I need a whiteboard. I don't got a whiteboard, so you're gonna have to visually help me out here, all right? Because if I had my whiteboard, it would be popping right now. We would be popping right now. I need to get a whiteboard. Don't you think, Craig?
Yeah.
I need a whiteboard, don't I? These are the whiteboard moments. He said do it in paint. These are those whiteboard moments. So I'm a visually, all right? So now Microsoft took off the $60 annual subscription plan. That means you cannot, from this point forward, you might already have, there might be some lingering subscription $60 cards out there, but once they run out, it's over. There is no more subscribing to Xbox Live Gold for $60 a year. Now, the only two options available is the monthly version, which is $10 a month, or the quarterly version, which is how much? It's like, how much is the quarterly version, Craig? The one that's every 3 months.
I do not know. Was it like 49, maybe?
No, not every 3 months. Give me a second,
Oh,
guys.
every 2 months.
The one that's every 3 months version. I got it because I did it on Twitter. So give me a second.
I'm not for sure.
Give me one moment. Okay, so it's $100 a year, so it's $25 every 3 months. Because there's 4 quarters, which is 3 months per quarter. So you got monthly, which is $10 a month, and if you stick with that plan, you get charged $10 a month every single month. That means annually you're paying $120 a year. So by the end of the year, you just paid $120 a year. So that's the monthly version, $120 a year. Then you got the quarterly version, where every 3 months you get charged $25, right? So every 3 months is $25. So every 3 months, there's 4 quarters. That's $100 a year. So right now, the cheapest Xbox Live Gold subscription that you can get is $100 a year. So for $100, you get the games with gold, which have you seen been trash. That thing's been terrible, and it's clear they're doing it on purpose. They are not giving you any level of decent game on games for gold. It has been trash every single month. It's terrible, right? So really, you're only paying to play online for $100 a year at the cheapest, right? Then you got basic Game Pass, right? Which is $10 a month. Now, this basic Game Pass has no online. If you choose the basic Game Pass, you cannot play any of the games online. Online subscription does not come with it. That's also $120 a year, because you're paying $10 a month. Now, of course, many of you, did the subscription ultimate. You did the dollar upgrade, so you have Game Pass for 3 years, not including you guys. These are for the new subscribers who are just about to jump on, right? So you jump on Game Pass right now for the first time and stuff. You're gonna pay $10 a month. That's $120 a year. So now, if you look at it separately, if you try to use basic Game Pass, right, and the cheapest version of Gold, which is the $100 a year, combined, you're paying $220 a year. If you're not smart, if you subscribe to quarterly Gold and you subscribe to Game Pass Basic separately, you're paying $220 and you don't even realize it. So at that point, Game Pass Ultimate looks like the best deal, because you get all that plus xCloud services. And if you have a gaming PC, you can use it on PC for $180 a year. You understand what I'm saying? Now, let's say you're not interested in Game Pass at all. You just want to play online on Xbox. Sure. You get Xbox Live Gold. You choose the cheapest option available, which is the quarterly. You're paying $100 a year. But as you're paying $100 a year, you're looking at, damn, for an extra $80, not only do I get the same online multiplayer I got, but now I get day one all first-party games, day one. So now I could buy less games, save money off of buying Microsoft first-party games. You get a lot of third-party games on top of that. Plus you get xCloud, and again, you get to use it on PC. Pretty much, Microsoft is setting the stage that you would be an idiot if you choose any other subscription plan other than Game Pass Ultimate. That's just the reality. If you rock on Xbox, you would be an idiot not getting the Game Pass Ultimate. If that's your preferred console, you have to get the Game Pass Ultimate subscription plan. You will be a moron if you choose any of the just gold packages. You just be dumb. Paying $100 just for gold, just to play online. Spend the extra $80 a year, and you're going to get so much more out of it. Especially when you don't have to buy Halo. You don't have to buy Gears. You don't have to buy Forza. You don't have to buy Fable. You don't have to buy Avowed. You don't have to buy any first-party games. If you go gold for $100 a year and you buy Halo Infinite, That's $160. You know? So if you get Game Pass Ultimate and you play Halo Infinite single player, obviously, because the multiplayer is free to play. Right? Free to play, right? And you play Forza and you play Gears, you already made your money's worth. And you will continue because there'll be third-party games and more first-party games on there. Microsoft set the stage to where you are a moron if you choose any other subscription plan. If you don't pick Game Pass Ultimate, you're just a moron. You just don't know what you're doing. And that's exactly how they set the stage. That's how they're going to inflate and get the big numbers of Game Pass. They're going to get the big numbers of Game Pass on the merit that you would be an idiot just to opt for gold. Not on the merit that you want Game Pass, you want the services, you want this, you know? Because if Xbox Live Gold $60 was still around, some people just want that because they mostly play Call of Duty, 2K, Madden, and that's about it. You know what I'm saying? So all they really need is gold. They don't really need to pay $60 a year. They don't need to pay $180 a year just to play Call of Duty and all these other games, right? That they have access to. And sometimes you get deals where you could get gold for like $30 a whole year, right? Those are gone, right? So for those gamers, that's all they really need. But when you put them in a position that they're going to go from paying, you know, if they could find a deal of $30, $40, or even if they just paid the $60 a year straight out, you put them in a position where you almost doubled their payment plan. Again, their cheapest option is $100. So now that they see they got to pay $100, yeah, now they're going to look into Game Pass Ultimate. They're paying $100 anyway, so you might as well just spend the extra $80. That extra $80 is going to make back the money the moment they play 2 or 3 games. Once they play 2 or 3 games off of Game Pass, that's it. They already made back their money. Let alone how much more they're going to play if they see a third-party game on there. Or if they see, I think, like, what is it? Yakuza 2 is finally on there. And all the future first-party games from Microsoft, they're going to make back their money in spades. Microsoft created a very shady system to get people onto Game Pass by making gold look less attractive. It's a price increase. It is what it is. They increased the hell out of Xbox Live Gold. It literally went from $60 a year to, at a minimum, $100 a year. That's almost double the price. You know, and what's crazy is if you look at the PlayStation platform, PS Now doesn't have like PS Now and PS Now Ultimate. They don't have those tiers. It's just PS Now. And it's always been included. You got the streaming option, which has already been included, right? Limited to PC, but as PlayStation expands, you'll get access to more devices, right? Has digital download of over 300 games, and it always included online multiplayer. You don't need to subscribe to PSN Plus to get the multiplayer. PS Now already has that for $60 a year. For $60 a year, you get digital downloads, streaming, and online multiplayer. Always been included. You see what I'm saying? Yo, so Microsoft found a way to boost their numbers, and a lot of gamers. And it was funny, the anti-consumer crowd, who are the biggest advocates for everything. Hell, you see how big advocate they are for a goddamn PS4 controller. Oh my god, I can't play PS4 controller for my PS5 games on launch day. Oh my god, but what about the families with 30 kids and, you know, can't afford controllers? Like, chances are they're not buying a PS5 console day one. Those type of families, they wait 4 or 5 years when the console's like $200 and the games are like $15. Am I right, Craig?
Say that again, you cut out.
Oh, so like the people who are thinking about, you know, gamers who have like 3, 4, 5 kids and can't afford to buy a lot of controllers. Don't most of those families wait years to buy a new gaming console? So that way they go to like a Black Friday and they're able to buy a console for like $200. And
that or a Prime Day. Somebody will keep an eye out for them. Hey, I know somebody. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
so doing a bunch of different ways to get their stuff.
Yeah. So the consumer conscious gamer, they wait years to buy a new console. They don't buy consoles day one. They never did. They just don't. All right. They wait a while because the console's prices always drops. And Black Friday, you get amazing deals. Usually, you could get a console. I mean, at one point, you were able to get a PlayStation 4 for $200 plus a $50 gift card, like at Target or Best Buy, and like a lot of the games were like $9 $10 for like, you know, I remember like within 8 months, God of War, they had it down to like $12. You know what I'm saying? So people who are conscious minded with the cost of gaming, they're not stupid. You know, it's not a new thing. Generation after generation, these consoles go down to like $200. The games go down to like $10, $15. Even now in a digital store, sometimes you'll see these games for $12. You know, they're not dumb. Even Sony themselves, they sell the games for like $9. You know what I'm saying? And then they have deals on controllers. You know, especially during the holidays, they sell controllers for like $45, $40, and stuff like that. You know, they have deals. You know. So the conscious-minded gaming consumer, they know what to do. They're not going to be there day one. They're not going to buy these consoles day one. They're going to wait 2, 3, 4 years. And in the meantime, they're just going to stay on their PlayStation 4, you know, because again, they waited 3, 4 years for the PlayStation 4. You know what I'm saying? So they still have a lot of content. What happened?
Yeah. Sony is going to support their console for another 3 years, so it's not like you have to, you know, if you can't get something day one, you know, maybe in March or April of next year, you might be pulling up to the store and you'll just walk in and get one, and you can trade something in, save you some money.
Okay. Hey, so now that you're here, I appreciate you stopping by. Let's start out with your thoughts. You seen the State of Play?
Yeah, I finally watched it. Yeah, I fell asleep and I woke up and I went back and watched it.
Oh my God! So what you thought about it?
It was fine. It was exactly what Sony has said. I just think what has happened is this happened with Marvel as well. It became expected that their movies would make $1 billion, and if it didn't, so if a movie made $890 million, there were some people who were going to consider it not, you know, a failure. But Sony announced exactly what this was going to be, and there's a group of people that no matter what Sony says, they're going to be disappointed because they're going to say, well, no, they're going to show something different. So what I saw based on what they said it was going to be, it was okay. I'm like, oh, well, that was okay. I mean, we saw some PS5 stuff. We got to talk about Bugsnax a little bit more. So, we saw gameplay of Godfall. So, that was fine. You got the Control DLC release date. That's a big deal for this month. Especially if you like Control. And I certainly hope Sony grabs that studio up. I've been an advocate of them getting Remedy for a while. But I thought it was okay.
Did you like any of the VR stuff?
Yeah, the Hitman VR was a shock.
That's true, especially you play all 3 games, the trilogy in VR. That I would say was the big surprise for me. I didn't realize all 3 games would be playable in VR.
And that's a lot of content.
That's a lot.
Coming to VR.
All 3 games. That is a lot. That is a lot of content.
Yeah.
The Darth Vader game, that's on PC, right?
I believe Vader Immortal is. I just don't. I mean, being a big fan of Star Wars, that Darth Vader does not have to train. He was already a Jedi. So, that's why the Episode 6 is called Return of the Jedi. Yeah. We're talking about Darth Vader. So he really doesn't have to train. So it was like, train for this. Well, this is Darth Vader. He doesn't have to train. Yeah. But at the end of the day, that would be something that, if you're a fan of that, get it. I think that game's on Oculus already, but maybe I could be wrong. Lincoln Clay would definitely know.
Yeah, Call Me Jay just said Vader Immortal is an Oculus game that is now coming to PSVR.
Okay, fair enough. I thought it was, because you can actually get the lightsaber for your hand controls, I believe, for the Oculus. But it's just that Darth Vader does not have to train. That's all I can say, But fair enough, I understand what they're doing. Yeah. So
okay, so that's pretty good. So now, I agree with you. Sony set the expectation. They told everybody no big announcements. Mm-hmm. You've been warned. All right, so don't go out there. But now, as I'm gonna ask you, just from the perspective of a person who podcasts, who talks about the gaming industry, who knows that regardless of what these companies say, there is a war between PS5. The battle of the PS5 and Xbox Series X is real. And I think we both can see that there are like you. Of course, you got the guys who already drew the lines on the sand, right? You got the guys who are PS5 day one, and you got guys who are Xbox Series X day one, and there is no changing their mind. Like unless these companies come and kill your children, you know, you're gonna buy their console. Unless they do something personally to hurt you, you're buying their console, right? The lines have been drawn, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But the middle ground, you have people who are on the fence between these two products, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure they might talk a little shit or a little trash here, a little trash there, but they're really on the fence line. And that fence line, little by little, is encroaching D-Day. And D-Day being the day these consoles launch.
Yeah.
Right? Do you think, from a person who podcasts, who talks about the industry, you know, has conversation on Twitter, do you still feel Sony did a misstep? Do you think Sony did a misstep by not taking momentum? It's kind of like football, right? A team fumbles their ball,
right?
You know, and you're 20 yards away from the end zone. The number one goal is get that sucker in the end zone, right? You want to take advantage of that fumble, of that turnover, right?
Okay.
Do you feel Sony played it safe and planned just to go for a field goal, if you could even call it that, instead of trying to go for the touchdown and really put this game away? Just from a perspective of your own opinion.
I'll use football.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good football perspective.
Yeah.
Sony's already up four touchdowns. There's 3 minutes left of the game, and the ball's been fumbled. Do you really need to score again?
I don't know about the 3 minutes to the game, because there's still a lot of time to really screw up, you know, and you'd be surprised.
They're up already.
Yeah. So I see it more like it's the third quarter, Atlanta Falcons versus New England Patriots.
Right. Oh, yeah. See, to me, it's not that close.
It's even worse. It's even worse.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not that close. After that horrible thing that Microsoft had, didn't even show games running on their system.
I agree.
It said it was like, they said it was close to or right at what we could expect. Well, there was popping. They've bastardized their top game ever. I mean, the game that got them invited into the party is Halo, period. It wasn't not the Knights of the Old Republic, not Splinter Cell. It was Halo. They've bastardized it. It has become a meme. And I said this morning, anybody who thinks a company spends what's been reported, okay, let's be honest. It's been reported this game, they've spent anywhere from $440 to $516 million to make it. So let's just say that's true. Do you really think they plan on it becoming a meme? No, they didn't. So it's over. And my understanding was that what I was told was that Sony, for their state of play, just pulled stuff back. It was like, oh, there's nothing left to really talk about at this point. Everything that the quote unquote people who may be on the fence because they're still getting information, Sony's putting out. They're putting out they have machine learning. They put it out. They have the ray tracing. They're putting everything out now. So through developers, not by a press conference, which I think everybody would like to see a tear down. But it's just.
But let me ask you something.
It's a rush thing.
Does those things really sell consoles? Like making statements about machine learning?
Yeah, if you're in the middle. Like you said,
you think of people on the fence wants to hear about machine learning? You really think? I don't think that sells consoles. I think the people interested in that are the ones who already on the who already drew a line on the sand.
All right, but if you're in the middle and you're trying to find solid information, because you're right, you have extremes both ways.
Yeah.
And if you're going to cancel the extreme, you're like, I'm just going to wait for some type of whatever, whether it's a press conference, a press release, some type of verification that the console can do this. Right now, if you're in the middle on the Series X, the truth is you haven't seen a game running on it. That's the truth.
Yes.
So that's not bashing the Xbox. There's something going on where this thing is about to hit fabrication. They're not showing any games. So I was told that they're actually going to change some of the specs for Series X because they're getting hammered by Sony's SSDIO solution. And they're going to have to do some type of increase Maybe they'll increase the compute units or something like that. They may go from 52 to 56. Sony very well may increase their bandwidth.
So with compute units, right? So the reason why, like, let's say, like, for example, Sony goes with 36 compute units, right? And Microsoft,
and maybe they go to 40.
Yeah, and
Don't be shocked if it's 40.
Well, no, but there's a reason. So I'm gonna get to that. So Sony is with 36, Microsoft is with 52, but the actual fabrication is 40 compute units and 56 compute units. The reason why they cut off 4 is because every yield, some of those compute units don't work. You understand what I'm saying? And usually it's not a lot. Usually it's maybe like 1 or 2 compute units just doesn't work. So if you cut off 4, you produce better quality. You produce more working yields as compared to trying to produce 40 out of 40. You understand? So in other words, Sony's going for 36 out of 40. Microsoft's going for 52 out of 56, which produce more quality yields that work. You know, because like if you're trying to go 40 for 40 and just one yield doesn't one compute unit doesn't work, you have to throw away that whole batch, which is a lot of money that gets lost. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm skeptical with these rumors. I'm skeptical with these rumors of Sony potentially going 40 compute and Microsoft going 56, unless they're now manufacturing, let's say, 44 compute unit yields, and Microsoft is producing 60 compute unit yields.
60.
You know what I'm saying? Because you have to, you have to have. It's about the buffer. It's about the buffer. You have to have a buffer. You cannot go. You cannot try to go 40 for 40 or 52 or 56 for 56, because if one compute unit does not work, that whole batch gets thrown away, and that's hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions. It will be so expensive for that. That's
you're right. You're right, and they may not do anything.
Yeah.
Just all that's happened. The difference in the consoles is that Microsoft went with lower. They went with a slower SSD, but with more computing units and teraflops. So it's pretty much they want the developers to use those solutions. Versus what Sony is saying, well, no, we're going to have you, the SSD is going to solve more problems. And so we're just going to have it do it for you. And the compute units just do this. Now, they may not change anything, but there's a reason why. It's almost like somebody saying that they're going to produce a new fighter plane, but they haven't shown it, and it's supposed to be shown in 90 days. And it's, for some reason, the pilot hasn't test flown it yet. And you're 90 days away from taking it in the seats and delivering, to do a weapons test.
I think I think what Microsoft, the problem with Microsoft, I ain't gonna say the problem, but I think the box they put themselves in, they went the basic route, right? They treated their console literally like a PC, where they're gonna be like, hey, and you could tell from the architecture, it's very PC like in the sense they want you to play the best version of games in the same mindset that a PC gamer buys a better GPU and a better CPU. And now they got that, and Microsoft went that route. The problem with that route is you're never going to be as good as the PC. PC will always do it better. So if you're trying to be like right now, Xbox Series X is going for something that most likely a lot of gamers already seen who play with the 2080 Ti and a high-end Intel CPU. They already seen those graphics. In fact, if you with the games that Microsoft show, right? That they'd be like, oh, this is how it's going to look on Xbox Series X because they keep using PC.
Correct.
They're running the games on a 2080 Ti and a high-end Intel, right? So
technically they should be running it on AMD.
They're not though. They're not. I've been said that. Yeah. I've been said that.
That's news for me. Because the NVIDIA stuff is different than AMD.
Yeah. So
Microsoft should not be doing that.
So Microsoft's deal with AMD, just like Sony, is with the console. That has nothing to do with the PC space. Microsoft has no obligation.
Okay, fair. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Microsoft has no obligation to actually show AMD PC hardware. Dedicated GPUs and CPUs. That's not their problem. That's not Sony's problem either. Microsoft's showing their stuff on a high-end 2080 Ti and a high-end Intel. Right. So if that's the case, then just get the high-end 2080 Ti and Intel, and you know what you're getting. Like, you don't have to assume this is how it's going to look on Xbox Series X and not really commit to that statement. You understand what I'm saying? Sony, luckily, they never boxed themselves in saying about power, PC-like performance. They never really said those statements. They never mentioned statements about the best frame rates, the best resolutions, the best graphics, close to PC-like architecture. They never mentioned anything about that, right? And somebody mentioned PS5 is like a PC. So technically, yes, all these consoles is a PC. Because at the end of the day, it's a motherboard, CPU, GPU, RAM.
Yeah.
You know, so they're all in their x86, right? But the messaging between the two brands, Sony's messaging is, hey, we're going to try to, push new game development, new game design, right? And take it back to the SSD, and also exclusives for the PS5 built for the PS5. That's primarily Sony's message, right? Microsoft's message has been about the best frame rates, the best graphics, VRS and all this other stuff, right? And everybody's been trying to compare it to PC. So Microsoft's on the hook to deliver those statements. You understand what I'm saying? And it could be that right now, at this point, Xbox Series X is not truly pushing the graphics that's backing the message Microsoft's making. And I think that's why Microsoft's still sticking with PC, showing the games on PC, because Xbox Series X is not there yet. It might not even be there for another 2-3 years until it matures.
So your answer to your question is, if you're on the fence and is Sony kind of fumble, the answer is no. They show games even today. Godfall was running on a PS5. Now, not on the final retail kit, but on a dev kit. And you can look at that game from where they showed it several months ago to now. You can see progress. Yeah. I'm not here to say it's perfect. I'm not here to say people are gonna buy the game, but you can at least see progression on those kits. So again, if you're on the fence and you're not listening to the crazy podcast on either side, you could say, well, at least Sony has shown games running on their hardware versus Microsoft. And like you just detailed, they haven't done it yet. And both these systems are, according to AMD, are on pace to be out this fall, in the early winter. So that can help you sell consoles if you're on the fence. But yeah, if you have a child and all they want to do is play Fortnite, and you're gonna still be able to play Fortnite on your Xbox or your Switch or your PS5. It's just kind of looking to make what about price? Can my kids still play Fortnite or whatever they're playing, Rocket League, stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, again, I don't disagree with what you're saying in the long run, and that's why they have said, they being Microsoft has said, we don't care if you buy the console because the games won't be ready for 2 years. Yeah. Like, well, let's let this. That's why I said to people before, well, I'm going to let the baby bake for 2 years, and I'll check it out in 2 years. Yeah. That's all I can really say. Either I can get a Series X, or I will upgrade my graphics card again. In 2 years, because my new graphics card, my 5600 XC, is going to allow me to play everything at 1080p to 1440p, ultra to high settings at 60 frames per second. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's the release of Horizon Zero Dawn today, Gears of War 5 or 6, whatever, so I'm good for the next 2 years on PC. The flight sim game, I'll be at 1080p ultra graphics. So that's where I want to be. So
okay, all right. I'm just thinking, because there's just still so much Sony has to provide, and we don't have a lot of time. We're in August right now, right? So the window
you need to know
the window.
They can't. Well, here's what they can't do. They can't. What we have to get in our hands is the actual feel of the gamepad, because they can tell us what it's like. Somebody can tell you what it's like to shoot your rifle, but until you put it in your hand, you aim down sight, you pull the trigger. You have to learn. So they can tell us about the new sound, the spatial sound. Yeah. Well, until we put the headset on, so there's nothing to demo there. So, I mean, for us personally, unless you go to a store and you listen or something like that, the VR, I think you have VR, so you kind of know what to expect with VR. You kind of know what to expect with the VR at least. But until you got it home, you may not have really known to expect how it was going to weigh, the cords, how you may have to place your cords and stuff like that, the space you may need. There's this, so with a lot of it being sensory, you know, talking about if you're driving a car, which I know you're not going to do, but if you drive a car with dirt, it's going to have a different sensation on the handle, the sound being spatial sound. How we're not going to know what that's like until we actually get it home. So what can they do? All they can do is show us some games running on it, and that's what they've at least done.
Well, besides the sensory, there's still a lot more they need to casually clarify. You know, because some of the information is deep dive. You have to research, which you shouldn't be that way. Like so, like for example, the backwards compatibility between PS4 and PS5. You have to deep dive that information, and that's not how consumer industry works. You don't force the consumer to try to research stuff like if it's a science project. It should be easily available and in their face, like, right? So we're still not we're still not totally clear. Like, yes, we can deep dive for comments. Oh, this article from 2019, Mark Cerny president. Like, that's not how consumer market works. It should just be, bam. This is what it is, you know? Like,
but they have data that shows that a lot of people are not interested in that. They may not prioritize it. But I agree with you as far as the consumer. Yeah. But if you're in a room and you say, okay, backwards compatibility, out of 10 things people want, one being the most important, it's sitting at 7. It's not going to be prioritized as far as information. I agree with you as far as consumer sentiment, though. They may want to know, well, if I buy this for my son, Samson, can he play this on it? And yes, so I agree with you on that. I'm interested in the backwards compat because they keep talking about boost. Well, what exactly is being boosted? How is that going to work? And you're right. That's not, I agree, they need to do something more kind of under the hood, but they can do that shit in October.
But October is way too long because you have a small window from October to launch in November. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the thing I have issues with this, right? Right now we're in August. You got September, and then you got October. November doesn't count because that's launch month. Right? If you're still pushing information 2 days before the console comes out, something's wrong. By October, to me, pre-orders should already begun in September, in my opinion, right? In my opinion,
they will.
No later. Yeah, but here's the thing. Before the pre-order begins, we should know everything. There should not be any more new information about the PS5 from the console perspective. We should already know everything we need to know in order to put our dollars for that pre-order. If Sony still hasn't fully given us everything about the PS5, its architecture's capabilities, backwards compatibility, whatever, but they're asking us to pre-order the thing, that's just wrong. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I agree with you.
You know, if you expect me to put a $25 deposit or whatever deposit, $100 deposit, then what am I depositing on?
You're right. You're right.
Now, the sensory, I get that, because you have to physically, that I agree. There's nothing you can do about that over the internet. You have to actually, maybe if they do a Best Buy in-store demo or something, then that's the only way. So I got that completely. But something as simple as, hey, all your PS4 games will work, and many of them will have enhancements. This is how they are enhanced. You understand what I'm saying? Simple stuff like that.
That's what I want to know.
You understand what I'm saying? And all that should be unveiled before the price unveiling and before the pre-orders. Because when you unveil the price, that is the final step of saying, hey, you're going to get all this that's able to do all of that for the price of this. And you can begin your pre-orders on this day.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what they'll do. It's just, I think we'll get that in September. If not the end of this month. I mean, this is just the 6th. So, so we still got over 20 days, 24 days, something like that, 25 days. So it's we may get something by the end of the month. But no, I agree that they do have to, and not only do they have to say it, they have to show it. They're going to have to show whether it be the rumor of Spider-Man, let me make that clear, of the PS4 Spider-Man getting some type of boost when it goes to PS5 and it being 60 frames a second. That's a rumor.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just see if they can jailbreak these CPUs and GPUs so that games that are 30 get 60 FPS mode. Just stuff like that. So no, I agree with that because I'm going to have to physically see that and get somebody like NX Gamer or somebody like that to run that test and say, yeah, this is running at 60 frames or right at 60 frames or 60, and it may have a dip or two, but oh look, it still has this HDR. They've added this, and this. That's what I'm waiting to see. But as far as me, they sold me the console when I got done playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm like, well, I want to play the sequel. So and that's where the sequel's going to be. I'm going to get the PlayStation, the next PlayStation, or the next Spider-Man game. Yeah, I want to play those games. God of War. That God of War 4 is my first God of War, so of course I want to play the sequel. So for me, I'm sold. But what I don't like, what I'm seeing, is the constant attacks. Because people don't like the direction Microsoft is going. They want Sony to be more like what Microsoft is doing. It's like, you don't like what Microsoft is doing, go talk to Microsoft. But that's what I'm seeing as far as the console war. Because to me, the console war is over. There's some brothers online making money, so they're going to keep saying it's not over, and it's because it's a hustle at this point. But it's over. Okay, it is done. Nobody wants an Xbox, and I physically know nobody's buying one. So, at least they haven't expressed interest in me. But are there some guys on the internet who are saying a bunch of stupid ass stuff to generate people coming back and saying stuff? Yes, they are. Kid Smooth was arguing with Domino's Pizza, for Christ's sake. Okay, so it's over. The console war is over. The Unreal demo that was shown on the PS5, again, not on PC, shown running on PS5, deaded the console war. It was over at that point, because from that point forward, nobody talked about T-flops or compute units. It was all about the SSD solution, and these guys have been in damage control ever since, even chasing that guy Tim Sweeney around, trying to figure out, can this run on PC? This can run on Xbox? And so it's for me personally, that's the way I look at it, because these guys are a joke at this point. They're a damn joke. Talk boo-hooing about canceling pre-orders, mad at because Spider-Man is not going to be in their Avengers game. And just the developers, Crystal Dynamics, trolling these guys yesterday with what he said. Anytime you got developers trolling you and pizza companies trolling you, you're not, the console war is over. But that's just my opinion.
JD Gamer, thank you for the super chat. He says PS5 can't have a launch lineup of Bugsnax and Godfall fighting Halo in the medium. With MS being clear about his BC and Game Pass program, this won't go well. I don't think medium is going to be a bigger impact as you think. Remember, these are the developers of Blair Witch. So I don't think medium's going to be a console selling title. Halo's big, but Microsoft screwed up the way they showed it. So JD, Microsoft's killing its own game. It ain't the fanboys. Microsoft did it to themselves, so they got to show Halo at a better light than what they did. But as far as PS5 is launching, it's going to launch with Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I know some people say, oh, that's DLC. Majority of the consumers ain't going to see it as DLC 5 hour. The hardcore console war, they're going to talk shit about it. But I'm sorry, but Miles Morales is going to sell consoles. People could try to categorize it any way they want, but consumers, day one, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, PS5 exclusive, that's a big hitter. Miles Morales is going to be a big hitter on that platform, regardless of how many people will try to damage control it. And most people know. That's why they're trying to downplay it. That's why they're trying to downplay to, it's just DLC. They know Miles Morales, and the thing about it is, it's an unexpected title. That was an unexpected, like, holy shit, a Spider-Man this fast. It's like, like it or not, Halo is a much larger IP than Godfall, and multiplats will be on everything. So the question is, will Spider-Man be enough? Halo If you had that conversation with me in 2008, 2009, I would agree with you. But look at Halo 5. Halo 5 did nothing for Xbox One.
And I like
and JD Gamer, you gotta understand. You guys are living in the past of Bungie. Stop using Bungie's success. Just because that would be like if The Last of Us 3 was made by Sumo Digital. Would we still look at it as The Last of Us? No, because it's not made by Naughty Dog. Like, don't just use the name as the name. You still got 343 has not done a good job managing the IP. They haven't. 343 has not held Halo to the standard that Bungie created. The days of Halo being as impactful in the same manner as Bungie are gone. Again, just look at Halo 5. Halo 5 is not one of the top games of the gen. People will not even put Halo 5 in the top 20 of games this gen. Like, it's just not. It's just at best, it's just a good game with a good multiplayer. But when you compare that to the days of Halo on 360, on the OG Xbox, you would not just say Halo 2 is just a good game. You would not say Halo 3 or Halo Reach is just a good game this gen. No, those games were like top of the line, top of the crown multiplayer, system selling, one of the best experiences you can get during this gen. Halo 5 is not that game this gen at all. It's just not. And then you see how Microsoft showed off Halo Infinite. You never seen a Halo 3 unveiling, a Halo Reach unveiling, a Halo 2 unveiling getting laughed at. Never. Those games never got laughed at. When Halo 3 got unveiled, people that day decided, yeah, I'm buying an Xbox and I'm not going with PS3. Because those things are just game-changing announcements. The thing screwed over. Halo 5 is the most profitable Halo ever per MS. So what metric are you using? Best multiplayer ever. They're the most profitable because they have rec packs. So yeah, Microsoft's making more money because a lot of people are buying microtransactions. I'm sorry. Listen, JD, if you can't see the downgrade of Halo, then I don't know what to tell you. We're just gonna agree to disagree. But I think you're gonna have a wake up call come November when PlayStation 5 outsells the shit out of Xbox Series X, and then you're just gonna either A, come back and be like, damn, Puertorock, you're right, or B, just come up with a new damage control. Those are your only two options. But come November, PlayStation 5 is gonna whoop that ass. It's not even gonna be funny. And you're gonna have to either just admit it, or you're just gonna have to come up with a new playbook to damage control. But I'm telling you, Halo is not gonna be a force this November to help SX outsell Microsoft. It's not. It's just
unfortunate too.
Why not? I mean, I appreciate the super chat, but I think you're JD. I think you're stuck giving props to Microsoft they don't deserve, and I don't know why you give them that much props. You can clearly see from their whole operations, they just downgraded everything. Like, they don't even have the decency to call themselves out and be like, you know what? We can't show this Halo. This thing looks like trash. We're just going to delay. Sure, people are going to be pissed off, but when we do show it, it's going to be a quality-looking title presentation. They don't even have the respect for you Halo fans to do that. To me, they just disrespected you guys, if anything. You know what I'm saying? They disrespected you. They actually don't give a damn how you think Halo looks. They don't care. They're just going to be like, shut up and play it on Game Pass. So deal with it. Because you think if they actually, like, who would show Halo in that light? Like, that shit was atrocious. Yo, it's so embarrassing that Phil thinks that Craig, the meme, is a creative joke within the community. It isn't the Xbox community that created Craig. It's all the people laughing at him. Phil, we're not laughing with you. The people are laughing at you. Craig is a meme that laughs at Xbox. It is not a joke that says, oh, we love Xbox, so we created Craig. No, it's bashing your brand. And if you can't even see that, if you Xbox gamers can't even see that Microsoft won't even give you the respect to be like, you know what, hey guys, we're not going to show Halo because it's not in the best condition, but when it does, we're going to show you a game that you're going to be proud of and that you're going to love and that you just can't wait to play. They didn't even do that because at the end of the day, they're just going to tell you, man, shut up. You're getting this shit on Game Pass. Move the hell on. So I'll be honest, I don't know how these Xbox dudes are giving Microsoft more credit than they deserve, because these guys are just straight up disrespectful to you guys. They ain't disrespectful to me. This is just a conversation to me, because I'm not buying the Xbox Series X. I'm never buying the Xbox console ever again. So Microsoft cannot screw me over again like they did with the Xbox One. Xbox One is the last time Microsoft's going to screw me over with a crap console. It's the last time. So this rest of the stuff is you guys. But you guys let them do what you want. But right now, I don't see how you guys give Microsoft all this credit when they're not even giving you the respect to be like, you know what? Halo is a legendary IP that literally built Xbox from the ground up. We're going to do right by this product. Instead, you got Craig memes all over, and it's just a straight up embarrassing. It's just embarrassing what they did to that franchise. JD Gamer. Not my only two options. I concede that PS5 will also Xbox exclusives, but MS will have a broader gaming reach in 7 years. They simply be in too many places. And here's another thing. I agree that Microsoft is opening their aperture to go on more devices. But what does that have to do with the Xbox Series X gamers? Like, every time I go on the internet and I be like, hey, I'm going to go PC, right? Oh, but PC's not for everybody. I'm a console-only gamer, blah, 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 blah.
That's true.
If you're a console-only gamer, then why the hell are you hyping Steam sales? Why are you hyping xCloud, all this other stuff that has nothing to do with console gaming? Now, all of a sudden, console-only gamers want gaming everywhere. Come on, man. You guys ain't picking a stance, you know. I know Sony's doing PS Now thing, whatever. I don't give a damn about PS Now. I don't hype them for PS Now. I don't hope PS Now gets better. I don't care, because that's not what I'm actually doing in terms of PlayStation gaming. I'm focused on with PS5. And the moment I see Sony diluting their focus on PS5 with an all-brand strategy, and now PS5 just become a common device, then I'm not going to spend money on a dedicated device that's treated as a general purpose device. There's no point in that. If I'm going to buy a general purpose device, I'm going to buy the best general purpose device of all time, which is PC. It does it better than anybody else. And I'll just go with PC, and that's it, you know. But I'm not going to give dedicated money for a dedicated device, and Sony just makes me look stupid, you know. Not only not focusing on this dedicated device by not showing games on a dedicated device. Hint, Xbox Series X, no games shown on the actual console you want to buy. Interesting, right? But then they slap you in the face and put games first on PC. If Sony did that shit, and I'm like, oh man, I'm going to buy a new console. Oh shit, look at that new IP from Sony, from PlayStation. It's going to PC first. Wait a minute. Stay tuned for PS5 announcement, and we'll let you know when it comes to PS5. What? Why the hell would I buy a PS5 then to wait for PlayStation games? That's just disrespectful. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I would not do that. I would just leave PS5 console and I go PC. But you're not going to treat me like a sucker and then still support the brand, let alone give the company hope. And that's what I see with Microsoft doing. So I just be like, I don't care, you know. Business 101. MS doesn't care if you buy the console. They care if you become part of the ecosystem, which you already said that you would with Game Pass. I didn't say Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Did I say I was subscribed?
I do have Game Pass.
That's you want to say?
I'll keep it. Yeah.
So, but here's the thing, JD Gamer. You're bringing up Business 101, but what are you getting out of the console? I want to know about you. Are you a console-only gamer? Are you a PC gamer? Who are you, JD Gamer? What are you getting? How do you feel when you pay $500 you're going to give to Phil Spencer so he could put his kids to private school, but then Phil Spencer tells you to your face you have to wait for a Microsoft first-party game because they want to put it on PC first? I want to know you. Don't tell me about Microsoft business practices. You, JD Gamer, when you put Phil Spencer's kids through private school and Phil comes back at you and tells you you're going to have to wait for this game because it's going to go to PC first, how do you feel about that after you paid money for Xbox Series X and you helped Phil Spencer buy a new foreign car? So he drives a new Aston Martin because of you, because you bought an Xbox Series X, and then he tells you you have to wait. You tell me how that feels. I want to know. I want to know, JD Gamer. Put it in the chat. You tell me that scenario. November, you go in, you drop $500, $600 on Xbox Series X. You plug it in, and then Phil Spencer's like, hey, we made a new game. but it's coming to PC first. You'll get it in a year from now. But thanks for the Xbox Series X purchase. Deuces. Tell me how you feel at that moment. I want to know how you feel doing that to you. Tell me. Because I'm going to tell you, if Yoshida did that to me, I'll be like, I ain't buying a PS5 for what? That's a downgraded experience. If, you know what I'm saying? I buy all console always, period. Always have. You know what I'm saying? For what at that point? If you get a downgraded experience on a console, I would not tolerate that from Sony. I ain't going to go buy a PS5 and then Sony tells me, oh yeah, we're going to make games first for PC. Hey, The Last of Us 3, first on PC. I'll be like, oh, hell no. Hell no. You out your goddamn mind. Shout out to JD Gamer. Another super chat. I buy all console always, period. Always have. Okay? So if that's the case, cool. I better not see a tweet of you complaining about Spider-Man not be on Xbox or PC. Better not see that tweet. Don't keep the same energy. You know what I'm saying? Keep the same energy. If you're cool with Microsoft putting games first on PC because you own a PC, then you should be cool with Sony putting Spider-Man exclusively in Avengers because you get a PlayStation. Don't. I'm gonna look at you. He's probably deleting it right now. But you see what I'm saying? That's just me. And it's not just a shot on Microsoft. If Sony did the same shit Microsoft is doing now, I would not support PlayStation. I would not play on PlayStation. I would not be screwing myself over buying dedicated hardware and then I'm second fiddle to the games. Like, somebody else gets better than me. Like, what? You're out your goddamn mind. What do you think, Craig? Did Craig leave?
I understand what he's saying, but I mean, as far as the launch lineup, they both are going to have a fairly eclectic lineup. So that kind of falls on deaf ears. Gee whiz, I mean, it's I'm buying Halo, physically buying it. I'm not going to get it through Game Pass. I'm going to buy Halo.
So let me ask you this, because you know the multiplayer is free to play, right? Or quasi, whatever. I'm not gonna get into that.
I'm not buying it. I'm not gonna play multiplayer. So I can't stand Halo.
No, but here's the thing. But since the multiplayer is free to play, that means that the game you're buying is just a single player game.
Single player, yeah.
So how do you feel about that? How do you feel?
That's going to be something that's happening. Shout out to I think it was Hip Hop Gamer. He was talking about this with the PlayStation. Even it's going to allow you with some games, if it has multiplayer and single player, it's just going to allow you to purchase one or the other and not get both. And then boom, it's just going to take you right there with the PlayStation. So that's not the fact that it's going free to play is that's the whole thing. It's on the same level as Rocket League and Fortnite now.
But to me, that's a good move, though.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about it, but that just shows you how it's fallen. I mean, if you had told me this, like you said, in 2008 or after Halo Reach came out, that, hey, man, in 10 years, whatever, 5 years, this game is going to be free to play online. It's like, no way. This is why people pay for Xbox Live, is for Halo multiplayer. You know, so it's the fact that they're doing that is crazy. But I think both of them are going to have better launch lineups than they did with the Xbox One and the PS4. That's what I'm happy about, is that they're both going to have more to play eclectically than, and yes, Microsoft will have full backwards compatibility. You can play all your old games and stuff like that. And as Puertorock was saying, and I was saying earlier, Sony eventually will have to say something, probably here in the next 6 weeks, about their backwards compatibility, what's going to be available to play and not be able to play. So yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with him completely, but I wouldn't worry about sales at all with Microsoft's system. It looks like I'll be able to go to the store and buy one. I'm not going to do that with PS5, at least not in my region of the country that I'm in.
Yeah. So I would say Sony would probably be dipping into free to play as well. I would imagine. I'm not saying I heard a rumor or nothing. This is just my opinion. But I would imagine Naughty Dog's next multiplayer game that they've been working on, I have a feeling that's going to be a free-to-play. Because I think that's the route to go. Because it's hard to compete, selling a multiplayer game in a world where some of the most popular and most played games on console and PC are the free to play, and they're big. You know the game done change when even Activision, who if anybody can still sell a $60 multiplayer game and be successful at it, is them with Call of Duty. But even they made a free to play Call of Duty game, which plays just like a $60 paid, Call of Duty game, but it's even more successful than any of their multiplayer paid. Like, I think there's like a huge fan base playing Call of Duty Warzone. It's possibly, if it hasn't already, it's probably going to be their most successful multiplayer that they ever created.
Which is hard to believe, as big as that community is.
Yes,
that's a huge community, and the fact that they're setting even more records means they're creating more new players.
I'm gonna tell you,
that's great news.
Not only that, I think this could change how sports games are looked at. Because imagine, I'll use this example. Imagine if EA announces that they're changing the model of Madden from a $60 a year title to now a free to play, online multiplayer, right? And campaign and all that stuff, right? Because it's what mostly people play on Madden, right? So you don't have to buy Madden no more, right? The only thing you pay for is whatever, the updates, it's just consistent games as a service. That will probably be more successful than the route they're doing now with Madden. You understand what I'm saying? Because now they can just improve the game over time and it stays fixed. Because that's one of the things about Madden. Madden, they release it, right? And it might have a huge glitch. Animations is off. You know what I'm talking about. Just dumb shit. The guy, the ball, all of a sudden got touched and it flew across the screen 90 yards. Just a lot of weird shit, right? And then when they finally fix it, and then the game is playable, a new one comes out, and now you go through the whole process all over again. Oh, it's glitch. This is wrong. The guys ain't tackling right. Or you can't tackle a guy at all. You go through that every goddamn year, and then when they fix it, a new one comes out. But what if it's just a sustained one-type game that, okay, you go through the glitches, but once it's fixed, that's it. That's all you're playing. And they just evolve the one model over time, and then that's just it. It just gets better and better and better. The updates come, the player packs comes, and it just keeps, because most of the time the big money maker for Madden is the MUT packs and all that shit, Madden All Team, all that stuff, right? So they still sell those microtransactions as they always do anyway, but it's free to play, which means now you have more people playing the game, right? Whenever you do the updates to fix the animations, the tackling, the throwing, the reception, all the things that are important to the game, it stays fixed because you're not waiting for a new Madden now. So when the game is running good, it's going to stay running good. And then they keep adding new players. And then over time, they'll improve the animations. They'll improve the graphics, just like Fortnite did. I can see EA will be crazy if they don't adopt this model. Madden and any sports games, like 2K and maybe even MLB The Show, those games will be more successful in that model than the current model they have now. Let's see. JD Gamer Super J says, expect Xbox Series X to sell 60 to 90 million units and PS5 to sell 90 to 150 million units, but MS to have a broader gaming reach. Xbox Series X selling 90 million, you just stop. Just stop with that one. Just stop with that one.
I hope you're right. Let's put it like this. I hope you're right,
60,
JD.
60,
I do.
Nah, 60 is the max for the whole game.
I mean, yeah.
That's it.
65,
60 the max.
I'd say.
60 the max.
But,
multiple reasons.
Yeah.
Number one, Xbox Series X. I'll say Xbox Series X lost a lot of PC gamers. A lot of PC gamers are also multi-platform gamers. They'll play on PC and they'll buy a console for games that they can't play on their PC. They lost a huge chunk of those gamers. A lot of PC gamers are not buying an Xbox Series X no matter what it does, right? Because it has no games that they need to play that they can't play on PC. Even Game Pass is on PC. So there is nothing most PC gamers are going to do with an Xbox Series X. If you see a PC gamer with an Xbox Series X, chances are there's some type of streamer, YouTuber, or social media influencer in gaming. They have a podcast or they do reviews, stuff like that. But just the common PC gamer who plays games, they're not buying an Xbox Series X. They have no reason to spend the $500 on that console. It does nothing for them, right? So they're most likely going to have PS5 because at the very least, the PS5 will have exclusives that they can't play on the PC. So that's that. Or they'll go Nintendo. But that, they already lost that. 2, you lost a lot of console gamers that buy consoles for exclusives. Remember, when the Xbox One first launched and it was actually winning NPDs, remember that? Remember when Xbox used to actually win NPDs? A lot of that was attributed to exclusives, games you couldn't get anywhere else. Not that it was a it wasn't because Xbox One was a best version of the multiplayer. It wasn't. Obviously, we know that the PS4 had better version of games. But Xbox One was still able to squeeze out NPD wins, meaning it was the number one selling console. In fact, there was one point, it was the number one selling console for like 4 or 5 months in a row at NPD. Not on power, because of exclusives and price. You lost those guys. Xbox One has no exclusives, so a lot of those guys left. You don't have the worldwide reach to sell 90 million, all right? In fact, Xbox 360 sold 80 million, but it was primarily on the back of PlayStation 3 sucking ass in the United States. It was $600. It didn't have the compelling games. 360 ran away with the market for like the first 4 or 5 years until PlayStation finally caught up. And even under those conditions, right, when they clearly had the best online network, because PS3's network was dog trash and it was free, right, Microsoft had the best exclusives, right? Halo 3 was at the highest point of its franchise in gaming, right? Exclusive titles, or at least timed exclusive titles such as BioShock, Elder Scrolls, some of the biggest titles. Xbox Live Arcade has some of the best indies in the industry, or had it first. Braid, Super Meat Boy. 360 was at the best point Xbox could ever be with exclusives, exclusive multiplayer content, the definitive online network, and PlayStation launched a Blu-ray player for $600. The most perfect storm of a situation for Xbox to be successful, and it ended up being 85 million or so, and PS3 still outsold it. Xbox Series X is not selling no 90 million. Not no 90 million. Right?
But we hope
like that's not even within the realm of possibility. Be lucky if you can get 60 million. Be lucky if Xbox Series X can pull 60 million this gen. All right, especially with so many ways where you don't need an Xbox Series X. It's going to be hard to get 90 million when there's more ways to play Xbox without the Series X, or even with the Lockhart. It's just way too many reasons to not get an Xbox, and they just made it too easy to not get an Xbox. And then if, you know, xCloud provides a decent experience, that's even worse, because some people will just opt to get a PlayStation 5 and xCloud as a companion way to play Xbox games without buying an Xbox. It's just so many ways and so many reasons to not get an Xbox as compared to more reasons to get an Xbox Series X. It's just in the market Microsoft created. They did not create a market where Xbox Series X can flourish with 90 million sales. They did not create that level market. To create 90 million sales, you have to be focused on that product. Your campaign has to be focused on that product. You have to do everything. Look at Sony, what they're doing, right? They're focusing on PS5. They're having the games run on PS5. They're providing exclusive content for the PS5. They're not even talking about the PS4 as much, especially in relation to that. That's what you got to do to bring in those numbers. Microsoft is not doing any of those steps. You just don't think getting 90 million is easy. All right, because look at Nintendo. Even Nintendo has a hard time getting 90 million. You understand what I'm saying? In fact, they only have one home console that reached 100 million, and that was the Wii. All their other Nintendo consoles have not reached that metric. It's not as easy as it sounds at all. You have to have a focused campaign of content, exclusives, all that. And the messaging has to be about that one product. Microsoft doesn't even show you the games on Xbox Series X yet. That's just insane. Be lucky if Microsoft announces 60 million sales for Xbox Series X. That would be an achievement in of itself, let alone thinking that Series X is going to be 90 million. Not even close. I'm sorry, JD, but that's just not even in the realm of possibility. Not even a realm of possibility. So Sony would have to like PS5, something bad will have to happen to PS5 to where it just disappears from the industry. And the only option you have is Nintendo and Xbox for even that to be a reality for something like that. Like, not even close. Microsoft couldn't even get to 90 million when the PS3 was $600. Yeah. Like, it ain't going to happen now. You know what I'm saying? 360 couldn't even do it. And it had exclusives. PS3 launched a year later. for $600. They didn't have its first big AAA until 2 years after the PS3 launch, which was Metal Gear Solid 4. That didn't launch until June 2008. You understand what I'm saying? Like, everything went wrong for PlayStation 3 and everything was going right for 360. And you saw how that ended up. There's no way Series X is going to be $90 million. That's not even. That's not even in the realm of possibility. That's just craziness. But anyway, I think that's it. I think we hit on a high note and stuff like that. Appreciate you stopping by, Craig. I really appreciate it.
Oh man, glad to have me. And yeah, man, have a good one. And yeah, keep playing the games, bro.
That's it. At the end, they play the games. And everybody else on your way out, if you don't mind hitting the like button, I would truly appreciate it. This is your boy Puertorock77. State of play, in the words of my boy Next Gen 720, the Godfather. It was dog shit. Anyway, I'm out of here. Hey, you guys take